What is my motivation to serve? Welcome to Coffee with Pastor B.
What if I were the one to tell you that the fight's already been won? Well, I think your day's about to get better. What if I were the one to tell you that the work's already been done? 'Cause now good news is the best news ever.
I was thinking about that today. I'm reading through Genesis again. I love the book of Genesis, and we're talking about Abraham, and he's just has lost his wife Sarah, and he's looking for a wife for his son Isaac. And here he sends out his servant to say, "Hey, go to my hometown. Don't pull a wife for my son from these folks here that I'm among, but go back to my family, go back to my family's area, and bring me back a wife for my son." And here's this servant who swears to do all that Abraham has called him to do, and yet there's nothing really in it for him. Abraham doesn't promise him anything. He just asks him to go do this thing. And here this servant's just willing to get up and go do. And it touches my heart because I think sometimes, what is my motivation to serve? What is my motivation to serve God? What is my motivation to serve other people? Is it for something I get out of it myself? Or is it for something that just serves the Lord or serves somebody else or does great things for somebody else other than myself? You know, as we're reading in here in chapter 24, Genesis, and in verse 12, it says this, and he said as he's praying, here he is, took time to kneel down to pray, and he says this, "O Lord, the God of my master Abraham, please grant me success today and show loving kindness to my master Abraham." He's praying that he will find success for his master Abraham. He's serving completely out of a total selfless desire to do what his master has called him to do what is right and what is honorable. And he goes through and he ends up having success, and he brings home Rebekah to Isaac as his wife. And so this is just this great, amazing thing. And I have to look into my own heart when I'm serving and ask the same question: why do I serve? Is it for my own pleasure? Is it for my own wants? Is it for my own desires? Or is it truly out of a need just to provide something to somebody else? As we look at Jesus Christ and what he did for us upon the cross, it was a totally selfless act. God really gained nothing that day, but we gained everything. God gave everything and gained nothing. See, he already had everything. He already had a relationship. He already owned everything, created everything. He doesn't need us, which is an amazing thing, but he wants us. So when I'm about my ministry, when I'm about out there serving God or serving my master, I have to make sure that I'm doing so out of a selfless want and heart, a selfless want to give the gospel to other people, to be the hands and feet of God, to do his will, to do his bidding, to do his service purely out of a need to want to serve God, for nothing else, for nothing of a gain for myself. When I look at it that way, we start to understand what it means by unarmed truth. You know, the scripture has to be an unarmed truth. The scripture in our service to people has to be an unarmed service. What we do doesn't have to be for a purpose that serves me or that serves anything other than the gospel and the kingdom of Jesus Christ. It's just bringing good news to the people who need good news. That's the amazing thing about it. And that's what I love about reading the scripture today and pulling this out of the word today. The servant of Abraham served completely selflessly for nothing of a gain of himself. He wasn't looking for a wife for himself. He wasn't doing anything out of his own selfish desire, but purely for the success of his master Abraham. I hope today that I can go out and that my heart could be about serving others purely for the simple act of service, for gaining nothing of it of myself, that I may be the gospel, hands and feet, and that I may serve my master well. Thanks for joining me for just a sip of coffee and a little look at the word. God bless.